Hey everybody! What do you think about making bows? Do you love making bows? Do you hate making bows? Do you struggle with making bows? Today we are going to make some bows and hopefully fix some of that if you struggle. If you have any questions or need any help, please put something down in the comments below. I'll be happy to come back and try to help you on your bow making journey. As you see with the wall behind me, I'm a little bit obsessed with ribbon. And bow making. And I'll tell you a little tidbit. I used to hate making bows. I didn't even offer bows on our signs or any of the things that we offer in our Etsy shop because I was afraid of making the bows and didn't like it. But now I'm obsessed and I love them, and I love making other people enjoy making them too. So we're going to do some Christmas bow today. We may be able to do a couple. We'll see what time does allow, but we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, I like to use different patterns, different textures, different sizes. So we're going to use this wonderful 4-inch ribbon today. We're going to use a 2.5-inch ribbon today, and we're going to use some 1.5-inch ribbons today. We have some gold, we have some sparkle. Look at that sparkle. So let's get started. So well, I guess I should also say that if you are not familiar with me or my channel, my name is Lisa. Obviously, I'm with Heart's Desire, and I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy to meet you. Now, usually what I do is I have my ribbon on this ribbon holder. It has 3 pegs, and that keeps my ribbon in place. But this one, I don't have on the peg, but I'm going to fix that right now and put it right there. It makes it better to hold it. Now, I'm not going to, actually I am. What I've started doing is with my tails, the part that hangs down, I put my tails and cut those first so that those lay pretty at the back of the bow, and then the loops just sit on top of it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And what I'm going to do with this one, I want this one to be kind of a bigger statement. So I'm going to do, let's see. We're going to do 12-inch, no, we're going to do 14-inch tails. So, and then you just kind of pinch it there and put it on your bow maker. Now, I'm using a Pro Bow the Hand bow maker. This is kind of like the Easy Bow Maker, kind of like the Bow Dabber, works the same kind of way. This is just the one that I usually grab. It's heavier and beefier. The pegs don't come out or stretch out, so this is just my go-to. And what I love about it is it has the measurements on there. It don't go to 12 though. It only goes to 9 on this side. So, but we're gonna start here, and we want to make sure our tails are pretty even. I don't actually try to perfect it, just to be perfectly honest with you, because I want to enjoy my bow making. I don't want to be stressed with bow making, and I don't want you to be stressed either. So we're just going to put our first one down. You want to start with your biggest ribbon on the back. Let's just see if that's going to be even. You can pull it front, and it's not, but we can fix that really easy right there. Okay, and stretch those out, and then that makes the next layer easier to do. So let's move this out of our way for now, so we can do the next ribbon that we're going to use is these cute little dogs, little Christmas, got some little sparkle in it. So we're going to do that tail, and I usually for each layer go a little bit shorter so that all the layers have their own proper display, right? So we're going to put that one down and just pinch it. And I put it in here and then I pinch it. Some people pinch it before they put it between the rods. I don't do it like that. You have to figure out whatever way is going to be comfortable for you, but that's how I do it. And you want to make sure your pretty side is facing up for your tails, okay? So we're going to cut this one a little bit shorter. You can cut your ribbon at just straight across like that. You can do it at a diagonal, but what I like to do is do the dovetail. So I fold my ribbon in half and I cut up from the folded side to the open side, and then that makes your dovetail. But you can cut it at an angle or leave it straight. That is perfectly up to you. But I'm going to cut on my ribbon first, and then I'll do that. So let's see. What do I want to do next? I think I will do the gold, then the red, then the sparkly on the top. And again, we're going to go a little bit shorter on that. And you can use one kind of ribbon to do your bow. You can use multiples. I like all the different ones in there. The different sizes, like I said, the different textures. I almost changed my mind there, but we're going to go with what we got. And you can do one ribbon, you can do one set of tails. You don't have to have tails of all the ribbons that you're using. You don't have to have the tails at all. You can just have a round bow. It's your bow, it's your ribbon. So it's totally up to you. So now we have our tail. See how that looks? And then that's just going to come forward and hang down on the table because that's our tails. But let's go ahead and cut the dovetails. So that part's done. We have a little dog. You very rarely hear her, very rarely see her, but she's here. And she likes, when I'm here working, she likes to come in here and snag these little scraps. If they fall off the table, she'll pick them up and we'll find them sitting in the dining room because she likes to come in here and sneak stuff because she's not getting attention, I guess. I don't know. If it's in the floor, she picks it up and carries it off in there just to kind of say Pollyanna was here. All right, so we're going to get our, almost done with these dovetails. And one good tip for you when you're buying ribbon and you're selecting ribbon for your bow, you want to make sure you're using ribbon with a wired edge. Yep, that's just pretty even. So we're going to pull those towards me and just put them on the front of the table. And you don't have to do that. That's just what I do. You want to make sure it's wired edge. You want to make sure it's good ribbon. You know, something that's like the canvas material. It's just a good sturdy ribbon. You can pull like the edge out at the store and kind of curl it with your finger. And you can tell if it's flimsy and floppy. That's not going to make a very pretty bow. You can use it. I'm not saying you can't use it. You can use it. The more inexpensive ribbon, it's harder to work with and the bow doesn't look as solid. So I tend to not use the ribbon from, you know, different stores that have really inexpensive ribbon. We do sell ribbon in our Etsy shop, so I usually use what we sell, obviously, because we want to show how it can be used. But I do also find some at Hobby Lobby, but I gotta tell you, I'm very picky about what I use because we sell pre-made bows and I need for it to be quality. So now we're gonna start this with our loops. We're gonna go out to, let's go out to about 8 inches, and that's gonna make a 16-inch bow. Depending on how much you poof it, right? So this is the same on both sides, so you don't have to twist it, but when I'm making my bow, I automatically twist it just to stay in the habit. So you want to take and twist so that the pretty side is down on the first part of the loop, and then when you curl it up, the pretty side is going to be facing up because that's what your goal is, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and do, this is going to be a big bow, so I'm going to go ahead and do two loops of each of the bigger ones, and we may change as we go down, but we're going to do 2 loops of this big one. Twist and loop. And then as I'm going and pinching, I just keep putting pressure and pushing down on that. Because this is going to be, like I said, it's going to be a pretty bulky bow, but it's going to be pretty. because we want big and pretty and poofy for Christmas, right? So we're going to, both of these loops on each side is going to go out to the 8-inch mark. If you're doing the same size as me, that's what we're doing. Now, you can just cut these. You can see, if I get my scissors in there, just a little bit, about 1.5 inches on each side of the pegs when you cut it and start it, just so that your ribbon don't come loose. But we're not going to cut this to have a tail because we already put our tails, right? We're only working on our loops right here. All right, so there's those loops. So let's move this over here out of our way because we won't use that anymore. We're going to, and you don't have to worry about dovetails or anything on these because the ends of these are going to be inside your bow. So we're going to start here again. Have your little loop there, or not loop, but your little edge there to make sure your bow stays together. This one we got to do a little bit different because we don't want our puppies to be upside down on one side, right? So we're gonna measure it and then we're going to cut it. Do it like that. And then, actually, we don't have to cut it. We're just going to twist it again. Twist it again like that. And the puppies are going to be in the upright, like facing me in the upright place. So then this side over here, you want to twist that again. When you get designs where things go in a certain direction, they're a little bit more challenging, but totally doable. So this is going out to, let's see, about 7 inches. I just eyeball it and go a little bit shorter than the previous layer. So there's that one. Then we're going to do the same thing again, 2 loops. Put that, little puppy dogs are upside down, so we're going to grab it right there at the pegs. You can also cut these and turn them. If you don't want to have all those twists, you can also cut it and turn them. It's totally up to you. I like to not have a lot of loose pieces in there, but either way works. Okay? So, got those. You know what? Let's do... I was thinking maybe if we did 3 loops, but no, we're going to just stick with our plan. We're going to just stick with the plan, Stan. 2 loops of each on each side. Now, when I store my ribbon, I'll tell you what I use. I use these headbands. For the big rolls, I use these big ones, and for the little rolls, I use the smaller ponytail bands. Get these at Dollar Tree, and that holds my ribbon in place, so my ribbon isn't all loose and flying everywhere, because I don't love that. So we're going to go in order of how we did our tails. So the next one is going to be the gold. Go ahead and do 2 loops. Even though it's the same, we're still going to do our little twist. Going a little bit shorter than the previous layer. Two loops. And then we're going to cut it. Do the red. I love this red velvet with the furry edge. It's so pretty. Make sure you flip it pretty side down on the bottom of the loop, pretty side up on the top of the loop. Make that a little bit longer. And don't worry about smushing it down because it poofs right back up. That's why you want to get a good quality ribbon, and you want to make sure that it's wired edge, because you can manipulate and structure your bow the way that you want to. I'll put the link in my, down in the description. I'll put the link for our Etsy shop where you can find our ribbon. I'll also put the link for our Amazon affiliate store, where I have all my favorite things that I use for bow making. And this one here is definitely one of my favorites. So 2 loops on each side for that one. Now, the next one is the sparkly one. The white one's going to be on the top. Now for this top layer, I usually do 5 loops. The 5th loop is called the button loop, and it's small. It's a smaller loop, and it's the button because it's like the center of the bow. Like I said, if you have any questions or any issues or you struggle with bow making, I would love for you to reach out and let me try to help you. I am here, and I will do the very best that I can to help you on your bow making journey, because I want everybody to love bow making as much as I do. Okay, so now we have this together. Now what? Now we need to tie it together. And what I use to tie my bows together, because like I said, we sell pre-made bows, so I want to make sure it's something that when the customer gets it, they're able to use it without any kind of struggle, because I want it to be a good experience for them. Different people tie their bows different ways. I use binding wire. It comes on a roll like this. This is on my Amazon affiliate store. But you can use just regular floral wire. You can get these pre-cut strips, or you can buy it on the little roll. Some people use zip ties. Some people use pipe cleaners. If this is what you have, use it. Go right ahead until you can get all the things that you want to find your favorites. You know, that's totally up to you. For me personally, I think these make it too bulky and it's not part of the actual bow, so that's why I don't use these. This cuts really easy. It's wire. It's a very flexible wire, but it's paper. You can see that it's covered with paper. And it works really good. It holds the bow really secure. And I leave a long string of it at the back, because I don't know if they're going to put it on a wreath, or if they're going to put it on a sign, if they're going to put it on their mailbox or a lantern, or how they're going to use it, okay? This is something else that I use. These clippers, I don't need it for this bow because this ribbon cut really easy. A lot of times when I'm adding greenery or florals to my bows, I use this because this snips right through the stems. Okay, so what I usually do is measure out my wire to about 30 to 34 inches, and then I can just take my scissors. See how easy that cuts? Super easy to work with that. It's called binding wire. And then I fold it in half, so I have 2 loose ends, and then I have the loop in. Okay, so then I'm going to carefully lift my bow up, and I'm going to come in between the 2 pegs up under the bow. So I usually do the loop in just because it's easier to grab, and see how that's coming through the center. Okay, and then push my bow back down. I pull that up and I make that even. Kind of like when you're tying your shoes. You make your strings even. So you take those 2 loose ends, put it through your loop. Again, staying in between the pegs, because that's what's going to hold your bow together. Just pull up on those loose ends and that loop goes right there. Okay, so you just pull it up as tight as you can with your hand, like that. And then when you pull up on it, everything should be intact. And if it's not, you can start over. It's not a big deal, okay? So we got that. Look, our bow's all together. So let's move this out of the way. Now, to secure my bow more, I take those 2 loose ends and I pull them away from each other and tighten it, because you're going to be manhandling this bow. You want it to be secure and put together. So you just pull it as tight as you can with your hands. This wire also is much easier to work with and tighten it for me, because I have issues with my hands sometimes. So then you take it and you grab it close to the back of your bow. This is the back of the bow. And don't twist the wire. You want to twist the bow. And that's going to make it tighter, and that's not going to affect the stability or the strength of your wire. So I just twist it, twist it, twist it. And since I'm sending this to a customer, I'll tie like a slip knot or two in it, just to secure it. And you see they have a lot of wire at the back for them to attach it. So now we can't send it nowhere like that, even though that's pretty. We can't send anywhere like that. We gotta poof it up. But I forgot my poof box. Let me grab it. I can't reach it that way. Okay, so we have our poof box, and I wanted to show you this too. This is something my husband made for me. This is just a 7-inch square. He made it to fit most of my rolls. Like my biggest roll fits on it, okay? So if you're just using one ribbon, you can just make something like this, or you can just take a longer board and put holes and use dowel rods. This also came by Pro Bow by the Hand. I like how deep it is, and they've got it perfected, so we just bought this. But that's what I use for multiple ribbons. And then I also have this one, because we sell ribbon in 5 and 10 yard lengths, and I use this to hold it while I roll the ribbon off. So we got that. And then we have our poof box, very important. So this is a 12-inch board, a square. My husband made this, but the Pro Bow the Hand people also sell poof box. It's much thicker than mine. It's probably heavier than mine. But all we did was make this square, put an eye hook in there, and we put 2 nails, and I'm going to show you why. So you take that wire that's on the back of your bow, and you put it inside that eye hook, and you pull it close to the eye hook, and then you pull that wire down, and you attach it to one or both, however you want to do it, of these nails. And that holds your bow in place so that you can poof it. Now, I'm going to do it upside down. This is not how I usually do it, but I'm going to do it upside down just so you can see the process, okay? Get my tail straight. Don't want your tail to be crooked, right? So we got our tails, pull those down. You can curl these, you can twist these, you can just kind of let them lay naturally, which is usually what I do, because not everybody wants the curls in their bow. But just look how just those look. Isn't that pretty? So then I usually start at the back when I start poofing. I usually start at the back and poof that, because that's the back of your bow. That's your foundation, right? You can pull these up. And again, this is your bow. You can manhandle it. You are the boss of the bow. So don't be shy. We got that thing good and secure so we can pull and tug on it, right? And even if you get to this point and you pull some of it loose, you can just adjust and tighten it, okay? And it usually doesn't take this long to make the bow. Obviously, it's taken me longer because I want to take my time and make sure I explain and show you everything. But look how nice that 4-inch ribbon is filling up that background. Okay, so then you want to just figure out which way, and I kind of play with it because sometimes they don't lay exactly the way that you want them. But again, you're the boss of the bow. You do it however you want to do it. And you see how those doggies are facing, like they're not standing on their head. They're actually sitting on their feet. This is super cute ribbon. Super cute. Then we got our gold. We can pull some up here. And if you make these to sell and you go to ship them, I do advise putting some tissue or something in it to kind of help it. I have like a little cute little note that I put in that says to poof and fluff your bow to help recover it from shipping, and because it does get tousled about. And then we do our red. Just go layer by layer, and at the very end, you have a gorgeous bow ready for a package or a tree topper. If you want to do a bow for the top of your tree, you do it the same exact way. You just cut your tails longer. You measure your tree and decide how far down you want your tails to go. And then you got a tree topper. You can take, and making sure you're using wide ribbon, you can take the wire and twist it around the branches to kind of have real pretty loops going down your tree. We could do a video on how to decorate your tree with ribbon. If anybody's interested in that. You can do garland across your mantle or fireplace or bookshelf. So there we go. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? I personally think it's gorgeous. That's a big, big poofy bow ready for Christmas. And this is Christmas in July. And I wanted to take a minute here at the end and thank the host of this Christmas in July collaboration. It's Jeannie with Jeannie's Palette, and Christy with Funky Junk Inspiration, Mary from The Painted Peach, and Leah from Make All Things With Me. And again, I'm Lisa with Heart's Desire. I'm so glad you joined me, and I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you start making bows. And if you have any questions, let me know, and be sure to check the description for the links of the things that I talked about. And if you have something you're looking for in particular, reach out to me. I'm sure I can help you and enjoy the collaboration and the next presenter. Merry Christmas in July, y'all!